So how did this goofy-looking weirdo start a sex cult with a bunch of college students? Now, the goofy-looking weirdo, his name is Larry, and Larry is 50 during this time, living in New York, and one day, I guess he decides, I'm gonna start a cult. And so Larry gets out of prison, because I guess he had been in prison for a while for being a con artist, and he goes to stay with his daughter, this girl, Talia. Now, Talia is a college sophomore, and she lives on campus with some other students in a dormitory. And Larry just suddenly shows up to the dorms one day, and he's like hanging out in the common area and crashing on the couch every night. And I guess Talia's friends are like, that's a little weird, but okay. But whatever, I guess he's only supposed to stay a few days. But bro, I guess just overstays his welcome, and he starts living there in the building. And over time, he becomes friends with Talia's dorm mates. And they start trusting him and looking to him as this wise older man who they can come to for advice. And of course they trust him. He tells them he's a life coach, and he'll coach them on things like handling breakups and dealing with depression and stuff like that. And he'll tell them all about his wild adventures in the Marine Corps when he worked as an international spy on secret missions with the CIA, which is absolute bullshit. He never did any of that, but the students buy it. They think he is super cool. And they know that he just got out of prison, but Larry makes up some nonsense excuse that he only got sent to prison because the elites and the government were trying to silence him. Yeah, okay, Larry. Regardless, he must be a really charming guy, because it only takes a few months for these students to completely fall under his spell, and they'll basically do anything he asks. And so Larry has made this little group of college students into his personal cult. Now, to be clear, this is just a small group of students during this time, like 4 or 5. Students outside this little circle who live in the dorm, some of them think Larry is creepy as fuck. Some of them even email the school, warning them like, hey, there's this old creep living in the dorms. And in response, the school does nothing. Not sure why. But anyway, the semester eventually ends, and now it's 2011. And that summer, Larry and a gang of about 7 students, they end up moving into a 1-bedroom apartment about 30 minutes away in Manhattan. And so there's 8 people total living in this 1-bedroom place. And 2 of the girls sleep in the bed with Larry, because of course they do. And I guess the rest of the students sleep in the living room. And there is where their cult activities really start taking shape. Like, Larry does these really intense therapy sessions with the students, and he records it. He also starts pushing them around and depriving them of sleep. He gives them drugs like Adderall to make them hyper-paranoid. And if the students challenge